Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Jill Clark. I'm very happy to be your host today, and I'm very happy to, introduce this video. Lovely. Oh yes, let's clap for the video. Before we begin the official proceedings today, I would like to invite from the Kitigan-Zibi First Nations Reserve, Elder Jenny Tenasco, to open us in a good way.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Algonquin territory, where my ancestors have lived and hunted for thousands of years. I'm going to begin our day with a prayer, opening prayer in my language, thanking the Creator for everything that He has given us. Kijimanado, miigwechonje aki, miigwechonje mino kijikat nongom, kizis kazasigej. Miigwechonje nesewin kamishian kijimano imadazian. Miigwechonje aki, miigwechonje mishkiki, nesewin kamishian. Miigwechonje wensisag, kabemodejig, kaneukadejig, kabemisuijig, ke matamewjig. Miigwechonje mashkiki, miigwechonje nibi pengishin, nibi kichinenen dogwad onje minukwan. Widoko wishin kijinabwakayan, widokawi akasijig, shawenem nebojig, Kidamakazajic, Kawa Wisanajic. Miquetonje, Awensisag, Kabamodejig, Kanel Kadejig, Kabimiswijig, Kay Matmewjig. Miquetonje Kakana, Unjenongum, Unje Medium, Kaiton Wisan Waganing. Miquetonje Miskawazin, Unje Ushkiniujak, Mie Kichimiquech, Miquech. So we thank the Creator today for this beautiful day that brought us here together to celebrate a special event for our young people. We thank Him for the air that we breathe, the water that we have to drink, the food that's on our table today. And we thank Him, we ask Him to help the poor, the suffering, the people that are struggling with health. We also thank Him for everything that He put on the earth, the land, the gardens that provide us with our food, the animals that provide us with food and that we have on our tables, the air that we breathe, the fire that we use in a respectful way. So once again, I'm going to say Kweka Kina. My name is Jenny Buckshot Tanasko. I'm from Kitikan-Zibi, which is about 2 hours away from here. I'm a residential school survivor. I was sent to Kenora, Ontario when I was 6 years old. And that had a big impact on myself and my family. And second generation, third generation, I can see it because of the connections that I didn't get with my own family at 6 years old, losing my language. But I got through it. I went on to school, college, and I brought up my family the best way I could. But for today, I want to thank Rito Hall for inviting me once again. I'm so proud to be among such creative people here that studied hard to be where they are today. We have 2 words in Anishinaabe that we use in our schools, and it's Andagaj and Wishkinijik. So it's the excellence that our youth bring forward. It is an honor for me to be here to celebrate and to lift up Canadian youth who have carried out excellence in innovation. And I wish everybody have a good day today and the best wishes in your future work. And I'm sure, it's going to be very helpful to a lot of people in the world. Miigwech. Dr. Penn.
Thank you so much to Elder Jenny, who continues to be so generous with so much of our programming. And it's such a great way to remember that First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people from across Turtle Island are like the original innovators and continue to be really stellar examples of contemporary excellence in innovation as well. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Welcome to the national ceremony of the 4th year of the Ingenious Plus Youth Innovation Award, Canada's top Youth Innovation Award. And I'm so grateful to welcome all of you who have traveled from coast to coast to coast to be here with us today in our nation's capital of Ottawa. It is a stunningly beautiful day today, so thank you for spending it inside with us. We really appreciate that. We are so excited to celebrate innovation today. I'm getting like a feedback thing. I know what I'm saying is hot, but it's like, it can't be that hot. So we're celebrating excellence in innovation today, celebrating the excellence of these incredible projects that you're gonna hear a little bit more about soon. But something that strikes me every time I get to work with these incredible young innovators is the thread that kind of weaves through every single one of these projects, even though they're so different. There is a strong base of compassion that runs through every single one of them. Compassion for their communities, compassion for the world around them, and compassion for each other. And with everything going on in the world today, it's just very nice to think that the youth are here to save us. And that's no exception with the young people that are in this room today. So we are here at beautiful Carleton University. We are so grateful to be hosted in such a wonderful space. So to help kick us off and to share some words of welcome, I would like to invite our next speaker of Carleton University, Dr. Tony Bialetti.
I'm almost giving a little speech here, but I think I'm going to follow most of it, but not all of it. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Carleton University. This is our newest building. This is where the Sprout School of Business is housed. Our offices are on the 5th floor. And my name is Tony Bialetti. I'm the director of the Technology Innovation Management Program. I've been at Carleton for 46 years, supporting undergraduate and graduate students create your own companies. So I've been around for a while. So welcome to Carleton. It is our honor to have you here. We think a lot about the program, the Ingenious. We're absolutely delighted to be part of the National Ceremony. And we view the National Ceremony as being something special because what we're really celebrating is your ideas. We're celebrating your courage. And we're celebrating your incredible potential to change the world. Whether this is your first time at a university, campus, or you're already dreaming about creating your new company, know this: you matter. Your ideas matter. Your voice matters. And your journey, thanks to the foundation in this program, has already begun. Today is about more than speeches and recognition. They are important, but I think that the event is bigger than that. I think that the event is about roots. You are the roots. You see, innovation doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from somewhere, and it comes from people like you. It grows from who you are. It grows from what you believe in. It grows on the problems that you want to fix, and it grows from what you see. You are the roots. That is key to innovation. Innovation without roots is no innovation at all. No matter how small your ideas are, or you think your ideas are, no matter how early they are, no matter how ambitious they are, you in this room are the roots of those ideas. And that's key to what we're trying to do in innovation. For the last 46 years, I've been supporting students like you, both at the graduate and the undergraduate program, make their dreams come true. Sometimes they turn into companies, sometimes they turn into companies that fail and they start again. Sometimes they create companies that are wonderful. Sometimes they create a company and they sell it, and there's a variety of those things. But you know what's common for programs like yours is the impact of those companies. It's not just a company. It's a company that has an impact on our social values that we have as Canadians. I don't see that in the States. I see it in Canada. When we create a company, we're always looking about how are we going to put this back into the ground? How we're going to put this back into our communities. And that's pretty much a Canadian trait that I value tremendously. At Carleton, we believe in nurturing, this is what I have to read. At Carleton, we believe in nurturing innovation through action. That's why entrepreneurship is baked on what we do. We don't just teach theory. I get paid for reading this. We build real things, solve real problems, and support ventures that strengthen communities. That's why we proudly support this program. And that's why I'm excited to be here. As director of the program, Technology Innovation Management, our university isn't just a place of learning. It's a place of launching things. We like to be able to see our students learn something, obviously, but then apply that learning to launch something that is going to make Ottawa stronger Canada stronger, our community stronger. This is a place where your ideas can find teammates, they can find mentors, they can find resources, and a home to grow deep and reach far. So today, as you connect with one another, share your ideas, accepted recognitions that you deserve. I was very impressed with the people who are going to get the prizes today. I encourage you to do one more thing, and that is to dream boldly and root deeply. Don't let older people dissuade you from your ideas, because the truth is they don't know. Many of the students that I have shepherded through life, they were told very early on, your idea is not going to work. And don't listen to them. If you can make it work, go ahead and make it work. On behalf of Carleton, I'd like to remind you that your ideas matter. You matter. Your voice matters. And I welcome you to Carleton University. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Dr. Biletti. And again, thank you so much for hosting us here at Carleton. Next, we have from the Rideau Hall Foundation, our Director of Innovation, Amy Mifflin-Sills. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you so much, Jill. Welcome to all Ingenious Plus national winners and national finalists, as well as your friends and family, guests and supporters, and our distinguished guests today. Thank you, Jenny, for your kind words, your greeting, and sharing your story this morning. These are stories that we all need to hear, learn, and work together towards reconciliation. Thank you so much. We are so happy to have you all with us today at Carleton University. It's a perfect venue for celebrating the incredible accomplishments of these young innovators. A warm thank you to Dr. Biletti and to John Nelson. Thank you, John, for hosting us today. It's a truly special venue for us to have these national winners being celebrated. Welcome to everyone also joining in online across the country. Your support, even from afar, is especially welcome. Bienvenue à ceux qui participent en ligne à travers le pays. Votre soutien, même à distance, est particulièrement bienvenu. This year, I've had the special privilege and opportunity to meet many of the Ingenious Plus finalists and winners at the regional events that took place in partnership with the Vice-Regal community in Halifax, Quebec, Toronto, Edmonton, and Victoria. For those of you who are not at these events, allow me to begin with a bit of background about the Rideau Hall Foundation. We were established in 2012, and we're a national nonpartisan charitable organization working towards a better Canada. We have a diverse portfolio of programs linked to learning, leadership, giving, and innovation that have reached thousands upon thousands of Canadians in nearly every region of the country. Programs that unlock the determination and creativity of Canadians from coast to coast to coast. Programs that support and celebrate their ambitions for their communities, for their regions, and for our country. Dès le début, la culture de l'innovation, c'est-à-dire l'idée que chacun peut être un innovateur ou une innovatrice, quel que soit son âge ou son parcours, a été une priorité pour nous. In fact, our vision is to make sure that in Canada, innovation is truly contagious and inevitable. You are helping to make that vision a reality. Now in its 4th year, Ingenious Plus is a growing community of bright young innovators like yourselves. This national ceremony is a wonderful opportunity to recognize the creativity, ingenuity, and enthusiasm of young Canadians and the way innovation can make our communities, the country, and the world a better place. Taking the time to recognize your achievements is so important. Beyond this wonderful opportunity to gather together, il est très important de prendre le temps de reconnaître vos réalisations, au-delà de cette merveilleuse occasion de se réunir. Recognizing excellence like we're doing today can accomplish 3 things that matter deeply. First, it can help us help bring us together as a country. Here you are coming together as an Ingenious Plus community from all across Canada. Second, it can instill a sense of shared pride in Canadian achievement and strengthen the bonds that unite us rather than divide us. And it can serve to inspire others to take action, put their hands up, and problem solve in their own communities. Whether you realize it or not, your vision, your creations, your solutions, and the very act of you being here today with us is accomplishing all of this. Your stories are being shared across the country as part of this celebration and as part of Canadian Innovation Week. I have no doubt that you will inspire more young Canadians to think about problems or challenges in their own lives or communities and dream up solutions just as you have done. Now, I have the immense pleasure to be here on stage to thank all of the people that are involved in making this wonderful afternoon, or morning, I should say, of recognition possible. First, thank you to the members of the Ingenious Plus Youth Advisory Group, many of whom are here with us today. Maybe just a show of hands. Yes. This group of Ingenious Plus alumni first came together last summer to help make this program even better, including today's celebration. And it's already more responsive to young innovators' needs, so thank you. Thank you also to Jill Clark on our team for being such a gracious host, and to the many RHF team members who are here today who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes for the past several months to prepare for today's celebration. Thank you so much to Melissa Alland, a dear friend of the foundation who has played a significant role in today's event, and you'll get to hear from Melissa soon. Thank you so much to our innovation champions who support the Ingenious Plus program, the Barrett Family Foundation, the John Dobson Foundation, Fondation Hewitt Foundation, the Arthur Irving Family Foundation, the Jackman Foundation, Donald K. Johnson, Power Corporation of Canada, the Taylor Family Foundation, and Thomson Reuters. Thank you to all of our partners, collaborators, and friends who helped to promote Ingenious Plus. It's in a large part because of your support that we had nearly 250 submissions this year from 12 provinces and territories. Congratulations to all of you. We are so impressed by your ingenuity, your creativity, and hard work in developing such high-quality submissions this year. Canada is already a better country because of your innovations. It's an honor to have you now as part of this program. We cannot wait to see where you take these ideas or what new ones you will manifest. And we are going to be here to cheer you on along the way. Congratulations once again. Félicitations encore une fois. Merci.
Thank you, Amy. I'm so excited to be here. We have like an incredible whole day planned for our innovators and our national finalists and winners. And there are people that have joined this network, who have joined this community of Ingenious Plus, who are among Canada's top innovators, many of whom celebrated through the Governor General's Innovation Awards, another program that is under the Rideau Hall Foundation umbrella. So we are so grateful for their time and generosity towards the next generation of great young innovators. So I'm going to bring two of them up on stage for a little chat. So first, I would like to invite from Calgary, Alberta, the founder of Bowhead Reach and 2024 GGIA laureate, Christian Bagg. Thank you, Christian. Woo. As well as the executive director of the DMZ and CEO of DMZ Ventures and RHF board member, Abdullah Snowbar. Thanks, guys. How do you do this? This still work? Every time I get a microphone to work, I'm like, am I a woman in STEM? Like, this is a big accomplishment for me. Guys, thank you so much for being here. This is so great. Christian has already been in this hot seat on this stage for our previous Ingenious Plus national ceremony, and now is being joined by Abdullah. So this is like truly a very powerful moment on stage. And like, I'm here too. So we want to hear from you about, there's an echo. We want to hear from you about what you see for the future of young innovators in Canada. What does it mean to be a young person who is striking out into the world of entrepreneurship, innovation, what matters? And what are you looking for as two people who employ a lot of young go-getters? Christian, go ahead.
Well, for us employing, we do employ a lot of young engineers, internship programs, and it's making adaptive equipment isn't the most, it's not your path to great riches initially. So there's, the people who come to us are coming to us because they have a passion for design, for learning, and really the opportunity to get to do something at a much, to get to design and work at a different level than they would in oil or something like that. More responsibility. So I guess for me, talking to these kids, it's really apparent that that's their goal. They're not chasing a dollar. And so I think we end up with the best kids, the best young people, because they truly are exposing their passion just by coming to us. That's their goal. And lots of them, like we've got one that's moving on to Williams F1 team, that's his next internship. And so it's really, it makes us proud to be a part of their journey, and which gives us as they come in, we really think what can we give them to expand where they're going to go, because it's just exciting. So I think it's a really good time to be, and it was last year actually, with the world is crazy, and seeing all of you, versions of you last year was so heartwarming and amazing as someone with gray hair now, that it's not all going downhill. It's actually all going pretty steeply uphill. I think it's phenomenal what you've all accomplished, and there are amazing paths out there. So I think it's good.
Yeah, go ahead, Abdullah.
First of all, I will say that my head is still not gray fully, but my beard, and my wife reminds me every day that my beard is becoming more and more gray, which is but in any event, the first thing I will say, walking into these events, walking into Ingenious Plus, seeing these kind of opportunities where young leaders like yourselves reminds me sometimes of how inadequate I was when I was your age, honestly. And I say this jokingly, obviously, but there was never a moment where I was sitting down at my desk at your age where I was trying to build and solve for truly solving for big problems that we are facing in our society. Here's what I will say around where I think things are heading and where the opportunity is actually. Entrepreneurship, innovation should have never been reserved for people in midlife or people who are older in life. It's not intended for that. Entrepreneurship and innovation has to start at the youngest age possible. From the moment someone can speak or even walk, it could be engraved in their minds about how do we actually get them to start thinking in this way, in this capacity. The fact that you folks have an opportunity, the fact that the world has changed so much, the fact that we have information at our fingertips, the fact that we can actually access opportunities and learning faster than any other time before proves that there has never been a better moment in time in our lives to build and innovate than there is today. The problem sets that exist are insanely large. Whether for the better or for the worse, they are insanely large. And every day we read the news, we recognize that there are probably new things that we need to solve for. Believe it or not, and you heard earlier from the professor at Carleton, we, the older generation, cannot solve for all these things. So we have to carve the path to allow folks like you to actually bring new, thoughtful, exciting, realistic, big solutions to solve these big problems that exist. So ultimately, this comes back to the pathway is not just around taking a job and working and being an employee, but also leading and innovating and bridging the gap where others cannot kind of close that gap for big problems that exist. What excites me is that I am recognizing that a lot of you are solving for your why. Your why game is strong. And when the why game is strong and you have that compass, that moral compass and that North Star that you're chasing, it actually makes building so much more exciting because you're driven by passion, you're driven by purpose, and you're not caught up in the other not as important things that exist around sometimes building. I was speaking to one of the finalists' parents, just a few minutes ago, and he mentioned to me that curiosity is such a powerful thing. And I think it's your father, actually. So I haven't met you yet, but it's your father. And curiosity is really a powerful thing as long as it can actually be executed. Your curiosity cannot, the biggest disservice we can do for young people is keeping their curiosities locked in their minds and not being shared and not being exposed. The fact that we have things like the Rita Hall Foundation and other organizations that are doing such incredible programs to unleash their curiosity is a goldmine. Leverage it, use it, build from it, and never, ever take this opportunity for granted. It really is something special.
Thank you. I always think back to when I was in university and then left and made the leap sort of into the real world, and you feel a lot of those resources sort of fall away. You're very well taken care of in a post-secondary environment. There are clubs, there are resources, there's money sometimes, but then you go to the real world, it gets very scary. So what can you tell us about making that leap from a very kind of cushy, supportive environment into the next realm?
Right. Well, I didn't. So it is really interesting having met some of you last year and then getting to meet you this year. I was actually looking and I wasn't able to find it, but my high school transcripts would be pretty abysmal in this crowd, like shockingly abysmal. And what I'd say to you is like, the discomfort is probably something that you will experience more than people like me, because I was coming from a really low place. And so every day was a little bit better. Whereas you are in this, like, you're so well supported. You're doing the things that the path you've been on, and the real world is different. Real world, I mean, it's just life. But I guess where I'm going is there will be things because of your abilities and because of how good you are at what you do, where you're going to have to learn new things and you're going to have to meet new people. And probably a lot of your ideas will help you grow into, awesome businesses or awesome opportunities and jobs. And you're going to have a team of people, and you're going to have a team of people maybe like me that were later bloomers in life. And so I'd say you need to recognize, use the empathy and your judgment within you to recognize the value of all the other people in the world, because you'll only be strong with a big team of people, especially for how grandiose your ideas are. They can't possibly be accomplished by just you. So team is such an important thing. And I always did individual athletics when I was younger, and my business partner is a hockey person. And I never got hockey. I was never part of a team. I was on a team when I was a kid playing soccer and stuff, but it was only until we created this company and I really started to understand what team was. It was these complementary talents and seeing the value in everybody there was around you. And when you do that, that's when you can really elevate your ideas and elevate your plan and yourself. So I just say, like, the world will it's not the world, you're in the world. Like, life will continue to change, but it's easier to manage when you have people around you that can help you.
And I will say there's, as you enter the harder world, I would say, than, maybe the comfort that you were speaking to Jill, that we're surrounded by sometimes, there needs to be an appreciation for wisdom of failure, right? So we're constantly protected, we're told what to do, we're guided on the right path. If we're about to kind of slip or fall, we're brought back up again. And then sometimes once you really get out there, you recognize that failure is actually part of the process, and you need to learn how to appreciate it because it is a form of feedback. If you do not fail, you will not learn. And if you do not learn, how can you get better? How can you build better? and how can you appreciate things a bit differently, right? So there's a part of that that certainly exists, and there needs to also be a recognition around being able to come in with confidence, and making sure that you know why you are here, knowing your place, knowing your value, but also appreciating the fact that there are others that want to see you succeed, and find people around you that will help you in that journey. Mentors and advisors are a thing that should be leveraged more than anyone can ever tell you. Our parents are great to start on that path, but then there needs to be going beyond parents, finding people that have deep expertise in areas that you are interested in that can help you, then people that are able to help you in leadership skills, and help you in being able to navigate the space that you're in. This is not a lonely journey. It doesn't have to be. But the big thing really is just about the idea of embracing failure, which is typically the biggest factor of why people never want to start something.
Starting can often be the hardest. The first step is the hardest one to take. I know that we said something about innovation being contagious and inevitable, and it's also sort of like a little bit of a domino effect. I know that getting to know some of our Ingenious Plus laureates, once you start, it's like really hard to stop. I imagine it's the same for the two of you. Can you give us like a little exclusive on maybe something you're working on, something that you're excited about? What's next? What's up?
I have for adaptive equipment, that's what Bowhead does. So bikes, this new wheelchair, we're doing an aisle chair to get in the plane. So I really have a pretty simple focus in life. It's like things that I do are sometimes hard with being paralyzed. So, and anything I do, a piece of equipment is what I need to help me through life. And that piece of equipment, as we've learned through cars, bikes, tennis rackets, rocket ships, whatever, can always get better. So it's an endless pursuit of just making the technology that I use day to day better. And now we have this awesome team at Bowhead to help me. So it's quite an easy path as far as what do we do next. It's like, well, what's hard for me to do? And now the giant community of people that Bowhead serves is what's hard for them. So let's just make that better. So I actually missed our introductory phone call the other day, which I'm sorry about, because I was getting this aisle chair for the plane done, because it's not something, it's also like, the urgency in what we do at Bowhead is always there, because without it, I can't do that thing. So I was flying out here. I was like, well, I need this aisle chair done, or I don't have one for the plane. I can't just walk down and use it next time. So its name is its working title is Ailey the aisle chair. And so when you get on a plane, you need to get to your seat. And so it's just it's basically a funny stool with wheels. But what it does is really interesting. It's not, there are other ways to get you to the seat, but what I've found is it's more of a social innovation than a technical one. It removes that bureaucracy that an airline would have, or the flight attendants and this stress of like, okay, well, how do we deal with this person? Because now it's my own little thing. And now they're just humans again. And they're like, oh, how's your day? Blah, blah, blah. It's a funny little chair. And you're like, it is a funny little chair. What do you do? And it's so, I guess where I'm going with that is sometimes you do things and the outcome of what you do, your innovation, is going to be totally different than what you had initially planned. And it's sometimes those things that you learn the most from, like learning that the equipment we make can have a bigger social impact than it can a technological one, has been a big driving force to the path we take on other products, because in some ways, it's a lot more fulfilling.
I think we have a few adaptive technology projects here today. Tiny show of hands. Jyoti, I know it's you. And Natalie, I know as well. Go talk to Christian. Elijah, too. Fantastic. Abdullah, spill some tea. What's next?
Well, I'm not gonna, spoiler alert, there's gonna be something that'll be announced later today with the CEO of the Rita Hall Foundation, Teresa, who's gonna be joining in a bit. So I won't talk about that, but one of the things, I run a tech incubator accelerator that's headquartered in Toronto with operations all around the world. We are the biggest thing on our minds today is how do we not double down, not triple down, go all in on Canada? How do we make sure that we can seize the day, carpe diem, on the moment that we have in front of us in advancing innovation, supporting entrepreneurs, being able to build global powerhouse companies that are changing the world for the better? And it all starts right here. How do we do that? We're expanding our operations to allow Canadians to make it abroad. We have offices currently in Japan, in Vietnam, in India, in Egypt. We're now looking at expanding into Europe, into Latin America, into Africa. And these are all avenues and windows for Canadians to say, we want to be able to expand into these new markets. Let's get there and let's build, not just for Canada. And one thing I will actually advise, just to kind of give you maybe one unprompted piece of advice. One of the founders of the Rita Hall Foundation, the former Governor General of this country, David Johnston, wrote an incredible book called Ingenious. Now you know probably where the name comes, the Ingenious Plus. It speaks to Canadian innovations that transform this world. If I can give you one piece of advice, is to read that book and take the story, take the why and how Canada, a small country north of the US, a small country that has made tremendous impact and contributions to this world, can continue doing that and should continue doing that and will continue doing that, and something that you can all take a really good lesson from. So read the book Ingenious by David, and I can assure you, you will find motivation and fuel to what you're doing.
Christian, Abdullah, thank you so much. Can we get a huge round of applause for Christian and Abdullah? Thank you. And please, carpe the opportunity to speak with both Christian and Abdullah when you can, as they are excellent givers of advice. Thank you so much. Okay. Now we're here for the main event. We are going to read the citations first for our national finalists and then for our national winners. So I'm going to invite Amy Mifflin-Sills to come up on stage. All right, so everybody gets like a little video presentation, and a lot of these project citations have words that I don't understand, but I'm excited about. So I'm going to do my very best. We're going to start with our national finalists who could not join us today. We have Saras Agarwal and Rateb Ajamieh with Prints for Play, 3D printing waste into toys. From Nova Scotia with PillSmart 2.0, please welcome Joy Akinkunmi. The PillSmart is an automatic pill dispenser for seniors with mild and moderate dementia, completed with an app for a caregiver. With adaptive features, the PillSmart aims to increase medication adherence in this demographic. Thank you, Joy. Okay, yeah, here we go. Next, from Saskatchewan, we have Adoko Allison Ukonu with Flow Oral Hygiene Network Incorporated. Flow Oral, please. Adugo has developed Flow Oral, a youth-led initiative focused on ending menstrual and oral hygiene poverty by providing essential items to underserved communities. Thank you, Adugo. Next, from British Columbia, we have Erin Bai with EcoTrack. EcoTrack is an AI-powered app that recognizes bird species, predicts migration patterns, and tracks routes affected by climate change. It also offers a platform for collecting observation data, supporting research, and encouraging wildlife conservation efforts. Next, from Quebec, we have Ava Batal, Madeline Civic, Jiaki Sun, and Julia Zing with Communicare. Communicare is an app that connects people with healthcare professionals in Canada by breaking down language barriers to improve access to care. Next, also in absentia, is Casper Dong from Ontario with the Canada Youth Aerospace Team, Accessible STEM Opportunities for All Canadian Youth. This organization provides mentorship, collaborative projects, and competition opportunities for youth across Canada, advocating for inclusion and access to STEM opportunities in aerospace. We love Casper. Sorry he can't be here. Next, from New Brunswick, we have Chinazam Igwe with Youth Innovation and Professional Empowerment. This initiative, oh, excuse me, go ahead. This initiative empowers Black high school students through culturally relevant programs, helping them be, become, and belong, with a focus on career development, entrepreneurship, and STEM. By working with Black professionals and collaborating with various public sector groups, it provides hands-on training, resources, and mentorship. Congratulations. Next, from Yukon, we have Olive Passmore and Lilou Lefebvre with AI-powered early skin cancer detection. AI-powered skin cancer detection is an app that rural healthcare providers would use in addition to their expertise in medicine to help identify suspicious lesions on patients. The app would then indicate the likelihood of malignancy, which would prioritize patients to see specialized doctors from outside of the community and territory. Congratulations, Olive and Lilou. From Manitoba, we have Adam Peters with WindLab MB, Stratos, Manitoba's educational wind tunnel. Stratus is a small, affordable educational wind tunnel in Manitoba targeting 60 knots. It enables students to study aerodynamics, including lift, drag, and flow visualization with AI. The project promotes hands-on aerospace learning and supports sustainable design for greener transportation innovation. Congratulations, Adam. Next, and not able to be with us today, is Owen Wynot of the Northwest Territories with A Flexible Future, Sustaining the North with Flexible Solar Panels. This innovation, we're working on it. This innovation develops a cover for flexible solar panels designed to work in cold, uneven terrain. By replacing PET plastic with durable and recyclable ETFE plastic, it increases energy production, lifespan, and sustainability, reducing costs for Northern Canadian communities as well. Congratulations to Owen. Next, we have Sophia Zhang with Flutter Tang. Portable triboelectric nano generator for everyday wind energy harvesting. Totally. Tang is a portable device that uses power management to harvest wind energy, supporting transition to a greener future. Congratulations, Sophia. Okay, now on to our national winners. First, from British Columbia, we have Warren Chen with Naturacell. Naturacell is a novel biodegradable cellulosic-based battery cell. It converts cellulosic fibers from agricultural waste into biodegradable batteries, delivering a 1.5 volt electrochemical performance. Scalable to AA and AAA formats, and with potential applications in EVs and electronics, Naturacell offers a sustainable alternative to lithium-ion batteries, cutting costs and solving disposal challenges. Smile for Dad. From Ontario, we have Anthony Ephemiadis with MScan, a point-of-care digital dermoscopy software system for rapid screening of skin cancers. MScan is a point-of-care software tool for fast, accurate, and non-invasive skincare screening using computational image analysis. It addresses misdiagnoses, racial bias in AI, and clinical inefficiencies, reducing mortality, unnecessary biopsies, and healthcare costs. Congratulations, Anthony. From Saskatchewan, Jyoti Gokaraju with Touch Talk. Touch Talk is a Braille-based communication system for the deafblind. Using a mobile app and a custom device with a refreshable Braille display and keyboard, Touch Talk allows for two-way conversation between non-disabled and deafblind persons. Congratulations, Jyoti. From Ontario, Jasmine Wang with Wildfire Monitoring and Prediction System. This innovation addresses the two key bottlenecks of today's wildfire systems through a custom data pipeline designed from the ground up to scale across geolocation, time, and features, and tailored transformer models that deliver a 15% improvement in detection and a 61% boost in prediction recall over existing ML approaches. Additionally, a web app was developed to showcase the practical real-world application of these models. Congratulations, Jasmine. And from Quebec, we have Celine Zhang with Student Innovation Lab. This social impact lab empowers marginalized youth by advancing accessibility, education, and civic engagement through scholarships, policy advocacy, and networking opportunities. Congratulations, Celine. Thank you. Yes, that's great. We're going to do a little quick stage setup here because I would like to invite our national winners to join me on stage for a little chat. Come on up, guys. Don't be shy. Can we give a round of applause for our national winners? There's just so many. Thank you. We're going to do a little pass the miking, so perfect. Hi, everybody. How are you feeling?
Good.
Good. This is good. That's good. Anybody have a different feeling than good? Maybe a great?
Excellent.
Excellent. Okay, great. We're getting there. We're getting there. Congratulations to you all. This is an incredible achievement, and each one of your projects is so unique and individual and also really, really impressive. And I think, we're in a room full of your peers and parents and admirers. So the thing that I'm always most interested in is your spark. What was the starting point? What was sort of like the spark that lit the flame that has got you here today? And how has it taken you all of the way onto this national stage? Celine, do you want to start?
Yeah, of course. So I think that it's always starting with listening to the unheard. And I feel like if ever we act with empathy, we can really know what solutions we can do and help people. Yeah.
So what sparked that empathy for you?
I think that as a young girl, sometimes I've always felt like I couldn't change the world, but I still had that thought, even though I didn't know how or where I was going to start, that, even one tiny act could help someone, just listening to someone or volunteering, that's already a start.
That's great. We love volunteering. That's an amazing way to start. Anthony, how about you? What's your spark?
Well, for me, it all started 2 years ago, and I've told this story a few times. In my project, which was AI skin cancer detection, digital dermoscopy, its purpose is to reduce the amount of unnecessary skin biopsies that are performed. If you have like a mole that you are concerned about, could be cancerous, it's a very invasive procedure to have it potentially cut out, removed for perhaps is worthless. It's not a necessary procedure, and you could have hundreds of moles all across your body. How can you check all of them? And oftentimes the mole that's cancerous isn't even the one that you think it is. And so what sparked this for me to read into all of these inefficiencies was when my grandfather 2 years ago had a skin biopsy for a lesion on his forehead. It was quite a large one, and it was an excisional biopsy. So they removed the whole thing. It's quite grotesque, and I don't want to get into that. But I wondered, was that really necessary for a symptom as it's a lesion? All of us have moles. And it turned out to be completely unnecessary. It was suspected basal cell carcinoma, and it was nothing. So I wondered, is there a way that for us to visually see if there's differences in the types of skin cancers without having to do an invasive procedure, which led me down the rabbit hole into the research field of how AI is being used to address this problem.
Well, we always talk about innovation is simply a way of doing something better. It's not necessarily starting from scratch, and I like the way that you approach just a better way of doing things. How's your grandpa doing?
He's doing awesome.
Awesome.
Wasn't cancerous. No point in doing it. So
I'm sure he's very
doing
proud of
fine.
you today.
He is. He is.
Good. I'm so glad. Jasmine.
Hi. So I think what sparked this project was a combination of many things. So my project is on wildfire prediction detection, and as wildfires became, a bigger and more present issue, it started showing up on the media a lot. You would see articles and videos of burned forests and evacuated citizens. And then we had a while where the smoke from wildfires in Quebec blew over to the town where I live. So then we had to wear masks for a while for health and safety. And then visiting Banff with my family, and then firsthand witnessing the burnt forest, the charred trees, and then also seeing a lot of evacuees who had to leave their homes, then going home, researching and, learning about the 18 million hectares of land burned in 2023, and then the 2 billion tons of CO2 released. I think it was a combination of all the things that really sparked my motivation to start this project.
It was like a literal spark. Yeah, sorry. That's great. But you saw it happening in your community. It's something that really affected you quite literally all around you. And that was what kind of motivated you to get started.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Great. Jyoti.
Hi. Oh, that was my phone. So my project was on building a way for deafblind people to communicate with non-disabled people. And the reason I started was because about 2 years ago, my grandfather started losing his hearing, and a natural consideration became, how are we going to communicate with him if he lost his vision as well? And it wasn't just my grandfather who faced this problem. There are about 160 million deafblind people around the world, most of them who don't have access to great resources and who don't have universal health care. So it became a very real and scary consideration in terms of figuring out a way to keep in touch with someone who doesn't have vision or hearing. And that's what basically started me on this journey. I had a computer science SDS, a student-directed study. I did it for that, and then I basically kept going because I was really passionate about it. And then for a year, I just couldn't stop working on it.
I like that we're getting good grandfather content here up on stage. That's great. And how's your grandfather doing today?
He's doing good. Luckily, he didn't become completely deaf and blind, but the fact that I made the project means I can still help people who are deaf and blind. And in Saskatoon, at least, I've been able to test it and start improving the lives of some people.
That's incredible. Great job. Warren.
Yeah, great job by Jyoti. I think for me, the spark for my motto was through science fair. I explored it through just like finding ways to apply like solutions to new problems. And I think that really resonated with me for like kind of moving on to building new solutions for new problems. And I think one spark was during I think conversations are really interesting, especially for my project, at least. I heard about a lot of issues with like kind of the sustainability part of recycling batteries and finding the issues with how batteries might like change and the new alternatives we need to look for. And yeah, that kind of I just dived into like what are like current researchers moving forward to and what are the technologies are they using, and just combining these things and trying out new things. And that's where I landed today. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so I love hearing about all of your success, but I also love, and Christian touched on, or sorry, Abdullah touched on this a little bit, about like the less than successes, the opportunities for feedback, the opportunities to learn. Does anybody have like a really great failure story? Something exploding or... Anthony?
Oh, well, for me, it wasn't a matter of one thing blowing up in a really big way, but it was kind of the opposite, and perhaps more frustrating was when all these little things just never work, and you just keep trying, and you have to try more and more things, and you keep failing. And so in my project, which was a very large project, I spent about 2,000 hours on it in total. And because it included like about 5 different sub-innovations within the larger project. And for each and every single one of those, in order to reach a level of innovation where you're going beyond the cutting edge, where you're increasing the accuracies, or you're improving the models, you're doing these things to improve what the current state of the art is, you have to try things that haven't been tried before, and you have to fail a lot. I failed for each part of my project 20 to 100 times, trying all these different things until finally something worked. So for me, it wasn't as much of one thing blowing up, but more the frustration of going through all of these different failures. And then by the end of it, I sort of became accustomed to it, and just learning that, these failures help to guide you towards something that's eventually going to work out.
So how do you bridge that gap between frustration and then just keeping going? Like how do you get from that frustration into your motivation?
I think it comes down to the mindset. When you start out in innovation, you're not as accustomed to failure. And so just knowing that, there are people out there who are saying, keep failing, keep trying. And you might not know where it's going to take you, or if you are going to succeed. But what I've found from failing so many times is that eventually you become accustomed to it, and it sort of becomes a part of your process. Like, it's not even a failure. It's just you tried something one day, you try something new the next day, and it just becomes a part of your process. So it's just have trust that you'll figure it out and things will come together if you be persistent.
That's great. Celine, you have a social innovation. So there can be a bit of a difference between a technological innovation and a social innovation. Nothing necessarily, I hope, is blowing up or malfunctioning within a social innovation. But you probably have some other hurdles as well that you face with community building, trust building, relationship building. Can you talk about some of your adventures with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes I think that the most important thing about social innovation is to find a good middle ground and to really be able to collaborate with everybody. Because sometimes I feel like the systems that are built for us are built by people who aren't necessarily with the people that are being touched. So locals are the ones who know best about their problems in their communities. And so it's just really important to go and talk to all these people. And then the hurdle is that, how can you innovate for the better, all while not necessarily living through what these people have lived through? And so whether that could be social exclusion, accessibility issues, right? Well, you just have to put yourself in these shoes and then work with them, right? It's like we said earlier, collaboration is the most important thing. I can't do everything alone, but I can connect these people together, get them to, get out their ideas, listen to them, and then work accordingly, right? I'm not the one who's at the forefront of these issues, but if we can give a voice to these people and then work with them, that's how we can innovate socially.
Like you were saying, empathy.
Exactly.
Right? You don't have to understand everything about the other person, but you just have to understand how important it is to connect.
Exactly.
That's great.
Even if you're worried that you don't really understand what's going on in the world, when there are so many current events, just try to put yourself in their shoes and work with them. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Jyoti, what has been your experience working? You're saying, thankfully, your grandfather doesn't need your application, but you've met lots of people in Saskatoon who do or who might. How did you approach working with the accessibility community?
It took a lot of cold calling, and I think this is something that's important, which is just reaching out. In my case, the Canadian National Institute for the Blind and the Canadian Deafblind Association both have branches in Saskatoon. So I just emailed them. Some of them didn't respond at the start, so I emailed them again. Luckily, it worked out in the end. And I think what I really enjoyed was that a lot of the people were willing to help me out. And even though I was on the younger side and I didn't have like a big tech company behind me, they did recognize that I was trying to do some good. And so they provided a lot of valuable feedback. And because my project is also very user-focused, they told me a lot of things that I couldn't otherwise figure out. For example, that maybe the braille cells need to be smaller, or that you need more of them in like closer together. So I think, especially with the Saskatoon community, they're very helpful. They reached out, they were willing to work with me, and they provided a lot of user-specific feedback, which is what I think probably made my project successful.
That's great. And yes, sometimes you have to email twice. That never goes away. That's like forever. Uh, Jasmine, what kind of community involvement have you had through your project? Have you connected with other people working in the wildfire prevention space, and more in the environmental sector and community?
I haven't actually done a lot of communicating with people in the wildfire community. For me, it was mainly reaching out to people who have written research papers, especially in the first stage when I was trying to get my data set all together. I had to reach out to a lot of people who had already data sets from their projects, and then also a lot of data sets are behind paywalls, and then it was trying to email them so I could access those. And then actually, sort of similar to your question earlier about problems we faced, like one of the earliest and biggest problems I faced was actually getting a scalable wildfire data set like in the beginning, because I tried so many different sources and so many different data sets, and they each had their own problems. Like some were image-based, some were raw, some were, like, as I said, behind really expensive paywalls. And I actually thought, after 2 months of trial and error, I reached a point where I thought about giving up and trying something else because it just was not working. Because without a data set, I can't train a model, I can't use an advanced one, then this project would be useless. But it was like about a week later when I had like an aha moment, when I realized, like, if this is a problem I'm struggling with, then a lot of people working on wildfire attacks are also struggling with this. So if I can find a solution to this, then I could be helping other people and giving back to the community. So it was that moment which kind of I switched from finding a data set and like emailing and researching to how about I create my own. So then that's when like I researched, found Google Earth Engine, leveraged that, and then made my data pipeline for my system.
Well, we're very glad that you chose not to give up and then you got to that aha moment, because that's pretty great. And like, we are so, and Abdullah touched on this, we're so lucky to have the ecosystem of research and Canadian researchers that we have. Canadian research is world-class and, in my opinion, second to none. So I love that we're continuing to have the spark not only of innovation, but also of great Canadian research. Thanks, Jasmine. Can we pass this down to Warren? Warren, what have you learned that's been the most unexpected thing through this journey? What has just like completely blown it all up for you?
I think just like the research process of like reiterating and trying again. And really, I think the greatest part of it all was meeting people who were just as excited to like support you and like help you out. I think with this case, I think it's really similar to mine, just knowing how much people are willing to actually support and help you out, especially within Vancouver. I'm from Vancouver, and there's a really big startup community and like a lot of building community, and also a big research community. And they're just really able to help me out with kind of mentorship on how can you make this project feasible into like the startup world or the business world. And even within the researchers or professionals within the kind of battery field, they also told me like what's kind of the limitations of my project and how like I can implement and make it better for next time. I think it's just meeting the people and knowing that people are willing to help out if you just ask, simply just ask and reach out and just, yeah.
An email twice.
Exactly.
Totally. Okay, I'm going to ask you to hang on to this, and we're going to come down the line. This is it's the Academy Awards of Youth Innovation, is what I'm going to say. So this is your big moment to thank the people that helped you get here. I know nobody gets here on their own. There are a lot of parents who I'm sure have driven to a lot of places and probably have a lot of prototypes sitting in their garages and basements. So Warren, why don't we start with you? Who would you like to thank for helping you get here today?
Thank you. I'd like to thank my parents, my mentors, professors who helped me throughout my project, and the faculty at my school. And yeah, thank you so much.
I'll start off by thanking my mom. She's here with me today. Also my dad and my sister. I think another thing to mention is that I'm also lucky in that I was born in a country that believes in innovation and funds it through programs like Ingenious Plus. I'm lucky to have those opportunities, and I'm lucky to be born in a city as well that believes in youth and the power they have in the world. So I would just like to thank, obviously my family, but also the community in both Saskatoon and Canada as well.
I would like to thank my family, friends, teachers, and then a special thanks to my dad, who is here with me today, for those moments when I was really stuck or I felt like giving up with the data part. His continued support and encouragement really helped me get through and make this project. And then also I would like to thank Ingenious Plus for this platform and this opportunity.
Great job, Jasmine.
I want to start off just by thanking all of the teachers, all of the educational support, the doctors, dermatologists that I worked with for supporting me, giving the clinical advice. But most of all, of course, I want to thank my parents and my dad, who's here with us today. Every time I thought that I couldn't do something, I thought there's no way I can compete in such a competitive research field. There's 10,000 papers. How can I achieve the cutting edge? I can't do it. And he would always look at me with a confused look on his face. Why can't you? Why can't you? And it was those moments that made me start to realize, I think we have innovation within all of us, and we shouldn't always revere those who are, achieving these great things and think that they are better than us, that they have some genius within them that we don't. And it was that made me realize that we all have innovation within us. We all can solve problems and go out into the world. And that's a big part of why I was able to realize that within myself.
I'd like to thank everybody that I've ever met, because I think that every single discussion has enriched my life, whether through knowledge, through growing as a person as well. I'd like to thank, of course, my parents. My dad always told me, okay, stop talking about it, just do it, just do it. And I think that really helped me start somewhere. I think that it gave me a bit more motivation. And also, every time that I would stay after school until 5 p.m., 7 p.m., I would also like to thank all the administrators at my school, because I would just always see them in the hallways, and the janitors as well. I mean, good conversations as well. And of course, all the teachers, all the people who work at schools, but behind the scenes. So whether that was my sustainable development advisor, all my school directors as well. I think that without such a good support system, I never would have started somewhere and then ended up expanding. I would also like to thank Youth for Youth nonprofit organization that I think I've been able to collaborate with so much. So thank you so much.
I love the shout out to school administrators. That is so cool. That's great. Great job, everybody. One more round of applause for our Ingenious Plus national winners. Thank you, guys. This is just the best day. I'm having the best time. All right, so we're going to break in a little bit, but I just want to say before we do, don't go anywhere, because we would like to take many pictures of you, and we need you all to stay in a group. We alluded to a little announcement, a little exclusive, a little first breaking news here today. So it is my pleasure to bring up to the stage President and CEO of the Rito Hall Foundation, Ms. Teresa Marquez, to share a little something with us, as well as our friend, speaker, and board member, Abdullah Snowbar. Come on up.
Yes. Whew, that was very emotional. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling really good just about not only the state of our communities, but Canada and the world, just by hearing what you're doing and not what you're thinking about, what you're actually doing. As Jill said, my name is Teresa Marcus. I'm the president and CEO of the Rito Hall Foundation. And my job really right now is just to thank you all and congratulate this year's finalists and winners. Congratulations for your creativity, for your curiosity, and for solving for the wicked problems that are all around us, that are in your families, that are in your communities, that you're seeing in the press, just solving for, not just thinking about. I'd also like to thank everyone who has taken the time to be here in the room, cheering on these incredible young innovators and following along online. As Jill alluded to, there's a big day ahead of programming along with mentorship led by the unstoppable Melissa Allen. So thank you, Melissa, for being with us today as well. And then tomorrow, our youth are off to Rito Hall for the Governor General's Innovation Awards ceremony, where I'm sure they'll be inspired by other Canadian innovators. At the top of their game, the GGIA laureates being recognized tomorrow by Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Mary Simon, are setting even higher benchmarks for Canada to aspire to in fields of innovation and entrepreneurship. I hope that tomorrow's ceremony also helps you, our young innovators, to see what's possible and to see what might lie ahead as you continue on your own journeys. But I want to comment that it's not just about what happens down the road. You are part of that innovation ecosystem now. As Christian and Abdullah referred to, I think we are in this moment where we all have to be all in for Canada, and you're doing that. As Anthony said, this is not about what happens later on. You're part of this community now, and we're so grateful for that. So before we wrap things up for this part of the special agenda, we do have one more announcement to make. Since the Rito Hall Foundation launched the Ingenious Plus program about 4 years ago, over 300 young people from all parts of the country have become Ingenious Plus winners and finalists. And that amounts to over $800,000 that the Rito Hall Foundation has invested in young people, helping them to grow their innovations and develop as innovators and entrepreneurs. And from the very beginning, the Rito Hall Foundation has been really intent on ensuring that this program is not just about one day, one moment, one recognition, one certificate, one check. Rather, it's about the start of ongoing networks of relationships, of ongoing learning and mentoring and opportunities and real community that can help to foster your creativity and your problem-solving skills. So now we're super excited to announce a new opportunity for our Ingenious Plus alumni members, thanks to a partnership with DMZ Ventures. So I'd like to ask my friend Abdullah to tell us a bit more about that.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm going to read so I don't overpromise anything. So I think it's important I stay on script. First and foremost, a big thank you to Teresa for actually helping enable these kind of events and bringing it to life. The Rito Hall Foundation's many diverse offerings of programs is incredibly valuable to all Canadians, not just youth, not just innovators, but everybody from coast to coast to coast, and I truly mean that. In the shared belief between Rito Hall Foundation and DMZ Ventures, I think we all agree that the best ideas come early when we need to ensure that these ideas are actually being supported and funded at the right times. I talked earlier that youth entrepreneurship shouldn't just start when people enter school. There's a point in time where we need to support entrepreneurship at the earliest stage possible. The Rito Hall Foundation has obviously built something truly powerful like Ingenious Plus, and we're grateful to help them take it one step further. One of the biggest conversations we've had at the board is how do we engage alumni in all these programs? And a lot of you today will officially become alumni because of the work that you've done. So I am delighted to announce with the Rito Hall Foundation that the DMZ Ventures plans to invest up to $100,000 every year for the next 3 years in the companies that are part of the Ingenious Plus alumni. Alongside that, thank you. Alongside that, DMZ will be offering world-class startup programming to alumni that are going to be getting access to these funds. And this is inclusive of mentorship and coaching and reach into our global network anywhere in the world. So we're honored to be joining forces with the Rita Hall Foundation and specifically with Ingenious Plus to help alumni scale and grow their companies. It's more than just funding, and I really mean that. This is about a shared commitment to fueling youth-led innovation. So we have now done our part, and now it's over to you folks to continue your part. So congratulations again, and we're delighted by this.
Thank you so much, Abdullah. We're really excited to be working with Abdullah and DMZ Ventures to really just continue to invest in the further and future ambitions of our young Ingenious Plus alumni members, really to help them contribute to building a better Canada and to grow their own ambitions, to work towards more inclusive prosperity, sustainability for Canada, for our communities, and for the world, and really to invest in them as people and as entrepreneurs for the long road. So we're super excited to be cheering you on and for what lies ahead. In addition to what's going to be provided by DMZ Ventures, the Rita Hall Foundation is going to continue to be here. You can't get rid of us. We're going to be providing wraparound supports to the Ingenious Plus alumni as this very special community continues to grow and evolve. And we can't wait to just keep cheering you on and seeing what you dream up and help to realize. So we'll have more information coming forward about this special partnership and an opportunity for you and your companies in the months ahead. And we'll turn it over very shortly for the remainder of the festivities and programming. But in the meantime, I'd really like to invite Jenny Elder Tedasco to help come back to the stage to help us close this very special gathering in a good way. So thank you very much.
Well, congratulations, everyone, winners and everybody. I wasn't sure exactly what kind of ceremony I was coming to, but I was really blown away by all this information that I'm taking back to my community. I will keep your names and your work with me and share it with the high school at home. And I'm sure that we're going to see your name one of these days in the future, and I'm going to say, oh, I've seen that person, I met that person, and I'm very proud to be here today with you. So I'm going to close our session today with a prayer again. Kijamanado, Miguetonje, Waso, Maundo Dem, Miguetonjo, Ogog, Pa Kinama Gojik, Miguetonje, Kakina, Kaiton Winishishing. Widokushin Kiji Tabasen Moyang, Quia Quadaziyang, Sagdi Wiyang, Tebwewin, Songidewin, Unje Nigon Primarizing, Miguetonje Waso, Shkunijig, Kijimigwech, Unje Nungum, Mie, Miigwech. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you again, Elder Jenny. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of you. We wish you a wonderful afternoon, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Can we get all of our finalists on stage? Is that right?
Go up there and shoot.